In 2016, the United Kingdom made a historic decision to leave the European Union, a decision famously known as Brexit. With a close margin, 51.9% of voters chose leave, beating out the 48.1% who wished to remain. But now, years after officially cutting ties with the EU on December 31st, 2020, it's essential to ask, was Brexit worth it? Let's unpack this complex topic step by step, diving into economic realities, political consequences, and the broader implications of this monumental choice. First, what exactly was at stake? Being an EU member means more than just economic perks. It involves political cooperation, borderless travel, and access to the world's largest single market. The EU trading bloc facilitates unrestricted trade among 27 member states nowadays, offering significant economic advantages. EU citizens also benefit from the freedom to live, work, and travel anywhere within the Union. However, the UK had increasingly viewed the EU as restrictive rather than supportive. Why did the UK vote to leave? Several reasons drove the Brexit vote, including frustration over immigration policies, concerns about terrorism and economic dissatisfaction, and a lot of lies, to be honest. And many British voters felt that EU regulations like the infamous bendy banana law, dictating banana curvature, stifled their economic potential, although it didn't exist, by the way. And they believed leaving would unleash British entrepreneurship, preserve job opportunities for locals, and grant more control over national borders. So what happened immediately after the Brexit referendum? Right after the vote in 2016, the British pound sharply depreciated, dropping approximately 15% against the euro. Unfortunately, the currency has yet to recover fully, negatively impacting import costs and contributing to inflation. And this immediate economic shockwave showed a severe loss of confidence from businesses and investors alike. And fast forward to today, how is the British economy performing post-Brexit? In short, it's not great. Compared to other G7 nations, the UK uniquely struggles to bounce back from the economic turmoil caused by Brexit and compounded by the pandemic. As of 2023, the UK remained the only G7 country whose economy is smaller than before the COVID-19. Moreover, the Office for Budget Responsibility revealed in 2024 that UK trade, both imports and exports, shrank by around 15% compared to projected levels had the UK remained in the EU. But why has trade suffered so significantly? Leaving the EU means that the UK lost unrestricted access to the EU's vast market, and despite the Trade and Cooperation Agreement or TCA, new customs checks and complex regulatory requirements have made trade slower, more cumbersome, and significantly more expensive. And this especially hurts small and medium-sized businesses, which form the backbone of the UK economy, and we talked about them already this week. But what do economists say about Brexit's overall economic impact? Most economic analyses paint a bleak picture. The National Institute of Economic and Social Research estimates the UK's GDP is already 2 to 3% lower than it would have been had Brexit not occurred. And worse, they predict this gap will widen to around 5.26% by 2035, equating to approximately a £2,300 loss per person. And such figures raise serious questions about Brexit's long-term economic wisdom. But is there any hope or silver lining post-Brexit? Currently, Rachel Reeves, Chancellor of the Exchequer, sees an opportunity amidst global trade tensions. With the US recently imposing aggressive tariffs worldwide, Reeves believes the UK could position itself as a stable, attractive alternative for global investors. Improving UK-EU trade relations could be vital, especially as businesses seek predictable, friendly markets amid US unpredictability. And politically, Brexit has also had profound consequences. It has amplified internal UK divisions, particularly between England, Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland. Scotland, which overwhelmingly voted to remain, continues to push strongly for another independence referendum. And Northern Ireland grapples with the complex aftermath of Brexit protocols, risking stability in a historically sensitive region. And socially, Brexit has deepened polarization. Families, communities, and political parties remain sharply divided. The debate about national identity, sovereignty, and immigration has intensified, reshaping UK society in ways that will be felt for generations. And in terms of immigration, Brexit's intended benefits remain controversial. While Brexit supporters aim to curb immigration to preserve jobs and resources for UK citizens, labour shortages have arisen in critical sectors like healthcare, agriculture and hospitality. Ironically, to fill these shortages, the UK has had to simplify immigration rules for non-EU workers, leading critics to question the rationale behind leaving the EU in the first place. In essence, Brexit's economic, political and social costs seem increasingly evident. Economically, it has dampened growth, complicated trade and weakened the UK's global standing. Politically, it has intensified internal divisions and strained relationships with traditional allies. Socially, it has fostered polarization and uncertain identity politics. Yet, despite the tangible negatives, some Brexit advocates maintain optimism. They argue the UK's newfound regulatory freedom could lead to innovation and economic revival in the long run. They also highlight opportunities for the UK to forge new global partnerships independently. The critical question remains, will these potential long-term gains outweigh the immediate and evident losses? Can the UK government successfully navigate this complex landscape to deliver tangible benefits to its citizens? These are the pressing questions policymakers must address urgently. So was Brexit worth it? As of now, the evidence leans strongly toward no. But the story isn't over yet. The UK's future depends significantly on strategic economic management, diplomatic prowess, and internal unity moving forward. And we'll continue tracking this fascinating and vital story here at Outside Views. And if you found this deep dive insightful, please hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more analyses. Thanks for joining me today. See you in the next video. And the next video is right here in the end screen, right next to another video from my newest channel, Zootastic. And if you love animals, then I really would appreciate your support over there as well. I'll see you there. I'll be back.